This is a 2009 BMW 530D. It costed 52 lakh rupees on road back then. Buying this now 11-year-old diesel monster right here would save you a load of money, but would it satisfy your strongest desire to own a BMW this powerful? We're about to find that answer right now. Be seduced by the 530D's prowess. Is this where you really want to be? Well, if so, you do not buy a 530D. It can set your heart racing. Now, you might have a decently powered car in your family, but whenever you see a luxury car on the road, your heart craves up that desire to own one yourself. And that's a difficult one to get out of. So you figure out, what if you buy a used one, huh? What if you can actually be light on your wallet and fill up your heart with joy at the same time? So you take a look at all the options available, stuck on a tight budget, a sniper luxury car, and then you see the special one out there and your inner voice tells you that this is it. So you check out the car's model year, and even though it's 11 years old, that urge within you says, oh, I'll have it serviced, maintained, and touched up wherever needed, but I'll fulfill that dream within me. Skip ahead, you've paid around 8 lakh rupees, the key is in your hands, and you are the proud owner of a 530D, feeling like you've done it all for that moment. It surely appeals much to the eye, suggesting this is what a 5 Series should look like, striking all around, especially with those angel eye halo ring LED headlamps, feathered by those turn indicators on top gracefully. Underneath the hood, you put out the money, bought an 11-year-old engine, but what is it? A 3-liter straight 6 diesel, makes 235 PS of power, 500 Newton meters of torque, experienced as early as 1700 RPM. So you just simply coast along feeling like a boss. The installation bits, of course, they're completely ripped out on the top. They're in fact even falling along the engine bay out here. But underneath all this plastic stuff is the real deal. Fancy old BMW wheels, 17 inches, low profile sort of, and yeah, they look really good. Tail lamps that sprawl across the back, emphasizing how huge the booty actually looks on this car. Boot, click that button and it's open. Massive space in there as expected. Inside, yeah, you need to be right here in this driver's seat, because that's where you'll be seduced by the 530D's prowess. 11 years old in this car, and the materials have obviously begun to show their age as well as wear and tear. So some might say it depends on how the previous owners maintained the car and everything, but I think that amount of wear and tear, you got to just simply go with it if you're putting in on a used car at times. And this one right here has a hell lot of signs that suggest the peeling of the materials on the front powered seats, and the seat leather has survived. There's no real tearing. My door panels are kind of fine. The veneer wooden finish is also sort of alright in the center as well. My cup holders out here, I clicked them and they are both functioning as well. My door handle out here has peeling and discoloration. The leather stitching around my 3-spoke steering wheel is good too. And even the electronics inside it actually work. Okay. Yeah. The reach function is actually making a weird kind of noise. I can bring it down and up as well. So these things are kind of good touches. You buy a car with this kind of money and then you still get that with a smile on your face. Now let's see if the sunroof actually functions as well, and raise it up. Yep, it's moving, it's opening itself up, it's all good. Decently sized iDrive screen out there with the iDrive click wheel down here, working smooth. You got FM, AM, CD player, it's even got a DVD input, even works as a TV player if you want to use it that way. Press the menu button, I've got communication, my climatic controls also show up out here. OBC is your onboard computer and it gives you your range information, and then your journey computer, you can set your speed limits or whatever it is. So I even get my status on the vehicle that tells me if my brake pads are okay. Now this is actually something you'd see in the new BMWs. It was even there back then, and yep, it gives me my brake pad information, my rear brake pads, my front brake pads. Oh, they clearly need changing. The engine oil needs attention as well. But that's what BMW is all about. Now you have your restraint systems which are faulty. The airbags not working good in this one. And like I said, you bought this dream, you're gonna have to maintain it by spending again. The air conditioning system, dual zone temperature control, one knob out here and another one out there. Set that temperature, and get going. You've got your fan speed here in the middle. That's your on and off switch. You've got your favorite key, hotkey buttons listed down there. Your disc input is right there, as well as the DVD input is right down there. A little bit of a storage here, and that button which is sort of faded out completely, that's my DTC. To deactivate my traction control, I can just click that, and then this car will be swinging sideways whenever you turn. That's my parking sensor on and off switch. Click that and I have front and rear parking sensors. The information shows up right there. So the way the center console is laid out here is it actually divides the passenger from the driver, gives you a feeling of being seated in a good old cockpit and in control. And then of course you have your armrest out here, which is really stylish. You got a deeper storage inside there, a bit of connectivity options, and man, that thing is really reeking of time. That's a good old armrest, really solid, sturdy as ever. The materials, they've managed to survive. I guess this car's been really abused because it has clocked up to 99,000 kilometers on the clock. The BC or board computer button lets you control the information you see in the driver's cluster. It's pretty simple. Click it and then you can see your mileage, the range, average speed. So my gear lever is a 6-speed automatic, and funnily enough, I've still got that same beautiful ergonomic grip hold on this gear lever right here. Move it on the side by moving it in drive, and I even have my manual shifting that gives me increased amount of driving pleasure. So the back seat. Is this where you really want to be? Well, if so, you do not buy a 530D, because it's not only the G-forces of this car that'll make you want to throw up out here, it's also these front seats that have literally sprawled back out here into my face. It's blocking most of my view, so I really need to find a puke bag if I'm ever back here. But it's not all that bad. I mean, the seats are comfortable. I've got good back support. Under thigh support is great. And my favorite bit, the sunshades are active on that side and out here in the kinky region too. That's what I love BMWs for. Armrest. Okay, this bad boy folds straight down. Look at the size of this thing, man. Nice little storage there. And you can even chill here when the car's not moving, that is, because like I told you, you don't want to be puking. You even have a couple of AC vents out here. Nifty touch. Cigarette lighter holder. And you even have an aux input. So I do have a push start button out there, but I've still got to put this key in the slot. Push it in, press the button, and that's it. We're good to go. Servotronic steering wheel, supposed to way up at higher speeds. And higher speeds, we're about to find out what happens then. It's a heavy vehicle, the 530D. And heavy in all the best ways because of that torque that's coming with barely the most minimum touch of that accelerator pedal. Visibility all around is fine, and so far my suspension has that kind of rattling noise that's occurring, and I think something is up with the bushings. These tires, they don't want to be pushed around over bumps. That's the next bit of feedback that I can give you. It's because they are on the low profile side and they tend to bounce almost like needle-ish sort of in certain bumpy areas of that ground clearance as well. Touches on speed breakers as well. Those creaky sounds that are coming in from the door panel and the roof and everything because of its age and the way it's probably been maintained. Floor it, man, it can surge. The power is massively felt so easily. The steering as well, it's great. It gets heavy because of the Servotronic playing its role. But your playtime is kind of restricted to 4,500 RPM because then it sort of just simply is the end of the road. But you can feel that swirling sound of the straight six that it makes when you floor the accelerator pedal down. The gearbox is doing a phenomenal job, especially in the low rev ranges. The shifting is happening so quick. So I'm in the sport mode. I did not move it into the manual shifting yet, and I'm flooring this. It's holding these gears and the revs. And in no time, I am cruising like a boss. This is what it does so well. Put off the traction control, takes off with all that torque that's just simply been pumped into those rev wheels. The horses are just simply driving you ahead. Cornering, it flies, it can take off the road like anything. But the amount of road noise, the insulation's bad. But forget all of that, really. Why am I even talking about that? Because the feeling out here is radically brilliant. it can set your heart racing. That's BMW for you. Second ad for Evo, 99,000 kilometers on that clock right there. But it still packs that punch. Total torque monster, isn't it? And that's not the only takeaway though. You put your money out on a used car, that's your dream, and you wonder, is that all you're gonna get? Fulfillment? Well, no. You've seen what it's all about. The suspension had its own rammy noises coming in. The engine put a smile on our face, of course it did. And I know it's a decision that you make with your heart, but sometimes you gotta go with the head. But if you're a person who flips cars, then you might use this for a few months and sell it off. But most of us aren't in that category at this point. We do love cars and we have them deep inside there. We want to use them and make them our own, part of our lifestyle. And in order to fulfill that, you might go out there and pick one up. But be careful is all I'll say. I'm Raspreet Gill, and if you do like this drive, do drop a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, then subscribe to the channel. Get a good vibe with this. I'll see you for the next one.